First step, know your customer. Know Your Customer, or KYC, is a customer identification program which helps banks and financial institutions establish customers' identity and details. Know Your Customer includes gathering details about the customer and his business or profession, to an extent that it helps you assess if the transaction is genuine or not. Know Your Customer's Customer, KYCC. Adequate steps to be taken by banks and financial institutions to gather more information to help them understand the customer's business, and use the same for onboarding and establish the clear link of various risks posed if the bank had to deal with that specific customer. KYC is a continuous process. KYC has two stages: identification and verification. Ask questions. What is the purpose of deposit, withdrawals, remittance, or service? Is the information provided by the customer relevant to the purpose of the service requested? And identify the source of income. Collect approved photo IDs as per the list provided by the regulators. A general list of acceptable IDs would be a government-issued national photo ID or a valid passport with a valid visa page. Ensure the ID is a valid photo ID issued by the legitimate government body. When to request ID from the customer. Collect IDs for outward remittances, deposits, and withdrawals, regardless of the amount. Inward remittance, deposits, and withdrawals for all amounts. For currency exchange transactions, refer to your local regulators for the thresholds. In case you have any reasonable ground to suspect that the transaction involves money laundering or financing terrorism, ID of the customer should be asked irrespective of the transaction amounts involved, and STRs to be raised for attempted transactions. Details to be taken from the customer. Full name of the remitter as it appears on the ID or trade license. Full address with contact number of the remitter. ID type and ID number of the remitter. Nationality of the remitter. Source of funds. Purpose of remittance and/or exchange. Full customer signature. Should be similar as in this ID. Corporate remittance. While dealing with corporate entities, you should obtain and verify valid trade license, authorized signatory ID, representative ID with beneficial owner's full address details, supporting documents, business profile of the customer, whether the customer has a cash generation business, whether the customer's business profile matches the funds remitted by them, regular corporate visits to be conducted and recorded by the compliance officers and branch managers.